and get rolling with this. Okay, so you guys will have to forgive me because I wrote down some notes throughout the day that I wanted to kind of share with you guys. So I'm going to look at my notes and then after I talk just a little bit kind of on things that have worked for me and things that I've learned, I'd love to open it up to some of you to share just some tips and things that have kind of helped for you guys. So the title I did was, of course, Balancing Plexus and Family, which I feel this is something that I know becomes something we think of daily sometimes. And especially for a lot of the new ambassadors that we added to the team in January and we're adding in February, I feel it's something too that sometimes they get started and they're just like, wow, what do I do? How do I start this? Where do I fit this into my life? You know? And then as you start moving up the ranks, each rank is different. You get that team and and those team members start growing and building, and you're constantly trying to figure out how to balance all of this. So I kind of wanted to share with you guys some things that I went through that I've learned. And everybody's life is different too, as you guys know. So like for what has worked for me, it may not work for you guys. But these are just some examples and things that, you got to figure out what works for you and your family. If you have a spouse with you or kids with you or whatever, you got to figure out what works. So like, what I wanted to kind of start out is in the beginning, when you first sign up as a new ambassador, most of you guys know, when I first started, it was just, I knew this was what I wanted because I started sharing Plexus immediately and people were asking me about Plexus, the products. And of course, you guys know I had no clue what I was doing about the business part of it. And so that kind of accidentally happened in the first couple of weeks. And so I learned quickly that, wow, this could be something that really could be amazing for our family. And it came at a time when we really, 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 really needed it because we had hit rock bottom. So I was super excited to see where this was going to go. But I learned quickly that I had to sit down with Scott, my husband, and we had to figure out how were we going to do this? How were we going to fit this in? Because at that time I had another part-time job that I was working and my boys were really little and we have animals and just different things. So we talked about it and Scott was 100% on board with me and was like, babe, whatever, let's figure this out. I can help with X, Y, and Z. Because before I was always a freak about having my house clean and everything organized and just kind of having our days laid out, this is what we were going to do. And really quickly, I figured out that was not going to happen, that I had to be okay with there being dishes in the sink. And I had to be okay with the floor not being cleaned every day and just different things. And thankfully, what helped me, I don't know about you guys, but was my family was okay with that too, because what we quickly learned was with Plexus, the compensation plan and things that this obviously it has, but that at that time that this was going to be huge for us. And we started figuring out our why and our goals and what this could do for us if we got to this certain rank, that, oh my gosh, this was going to help tremendously. And so once we figured that out, the boys were okay with it. They were like, Mom, yeah, we're going to have to sacrifice some things. Scott he's in there cooking dinner right now. Again, as you guys know, on Monday nights, that's what he does, and a lot of other nights for me. And I'm so blessed with that. But it was kind of, hey, the boys knew, yeah, Mom's going to be busy doing some of this and some of this, but this is going to be the end result. And I had to really work hard, you guys, on figuring out that balance too of, okay, when I'm present with the boys, I need to be present. I need to put that phone away. This is my family time. But for us, I could not have that scheduled every day in the same schedule because our lives are so crazy with the boys rodeoing and just different things. And like I said, with our animals and the cows that we have now, and you just never know when things come up that we got to go do. But that's the reason I do Plexus, is for that time freedom for me. And I can't have that scheduled days every day because we've got something different. So when I schedule something, that's what I'm going to do that day. If somebody on the team needs me, then boom, that's what I'm going to do. I schedule my my stuff around that time. But in the beginning, I had to give up a lot too. And I had to decide, okay, how bad did we want this? And my family was okay with it. That made it so much easier for me. So that's why I constantly am telling you guys, talk to your family, get them on board of, hey, if we can do this, what will this do for us? And when they're on board, it makes it so much easier on you to go in your office and do a team call or jump on a team call and be unpresent from your family for that 30 minutes. Or when you're doing your power hour or your 15 minutes here and there, uninterrupted, you feel okay and you're confident. And I will tell you that your business will grow so much better when you're confident in yourself and know that you're in the right place, you're doing the right thing, your family's okay, and you're doing what you need to do to get to your goals and your family's goals. And so plugging into the team pages, you know, plugging into the team calls, it's building your belief, a lot of it too, listening to those YouTube videos, you know, doing different things like that when you can, in the nooks and crannies, as everybody knows, is the terminology we use, of your life. And that is going to be completely different than me. For you guys, probably. For each one of you is going to be different. But I will tell you guys that I wouldn't change anything about it in the beginning of, I mean, I worked and worked and worked a lot. And that's just how I am too. But I knew, you guys, I saw the potential and I knew what this could do for our family. And I wanted to succeed. I wanted to do those things. I wanted to be able to take, you know, my family to Hawaii too. And I wanted to be able to, you know, help the boys and things that they want to do in their life. And that was a big part of my why. So it never, in the beginning, I never, ever had a time when I was like, okay, you know, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? It was so strong of a belief, because people had trusted me. A lot of you guys had trusted me and you jumped on board and you were on my team and you guys were signing people up and you're doing things. And that's what is so cool to watch, a lot of you guys doing that now. And so really that's where your belief comes from too. But when you're continuing to be away from your family on some of those times, you might have to miss those ball games. I've had to do that. I ran out to the car when my boys are playing baseball and I'm in the car doing a Zoom or doing a training call for somebody, and that 10-15 minutes, my boys were fine with it. It's okay. You know, it's good for them too. That's kind of how we parent. It's okay. They're going to be just fine. And as you start growing, you guys, you get that team of people underneath of you, and you know, you get a little bit busier because you've got people that are asking you questions now, and that you become that leader very quickly. So it kind of changes. But here's the thing, is figuring out how to work harder or smarter, not harder. I almost said that backwards, you guys. How to work smarter, not harder. Okay, and it is hard. I am still trying to master it. So I am not the best example by any means to be helping you guys on that, because there are some on this team that do, oh my gosh, so much better than me. But that's why I say we're all different on how we can do this and how, you know, what your goals are. So if you have that goal to just be a gold ambassador, that is great. And I shouldn't say just a gold, because a gold ambassador is huge. So take that word out of there. If your goal is to be a gold ambassador, that is super, super cool. If your goal is to be a jewel ambassador, then that is great too, but you need to work harder. And so you have to figure out, what's it going to take? What commitment can you make? Because then it becomes on keeping your team motivated. You've got to stay focused. You've got to build that momentum for your team and for you, and to continue always to grow yourself. But it becomes where you can get stressful. It can get very stressful. I have been there so many times, you guys. So I'm speaking and telling you guys from me that it has been stressful at times when I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much, or my week was so busy, you know, that I'm like, okay, I need to balance and spend time with the family next week. And that's okay. That's what fuels me, as I get to, you know, I get to help you guys and be there and do things and sign up new people and help them and get them started and get them rolling. And we're working our business. And then guess what? I have that family time too. And so then I'm committed to them and I'm focused on them. And so for me, that balance really helps when I can be busy. And it's at times, as you guys saw, the end of January was absolutely crazy with new ambassadors. And then we were doing welcome calls, and and that is what it's about. So that's why I say the times are different too on when you're going to be busy. So it's hard for me to, to have those working hours, because I'm going to be there when my team needs me. So when you can build that momentum and keep it going, that's when you need to really step it up and find that extra time when you can, to say, okay, I don't want to lose that momentum. So talk to the family. This is what's going on. Communication is key, you guys. I can't stress that enough. And okay, it's okay, Jeannie, you've got this. You go over here, I'm going to take care of this. That's how my family works. And I'm so thankful not every family does that. But that is how I've been able to do what I've been able to do and stay sane, is what I'm saying. Because otherwise it can get very overwhelming when you do have some people that are, reaching out to you, and you're growing those leaders. And if you don't have that balance in your life, it can turn you off very quickly. And you don't want that. So the biggest advice I can tell you is when you have that communication with your family, because if you're stressed out about, I'm not spending enough time with my family, they need me over here, but oh my gosh, my team needs me over here, and you're kind of in the middle pulling and going all different directions, becomes very stressful, and you shut down in both areas. And then your family suffers and your team suffers a lot of times. And so don't ever lose that balance, and you have to fuel yourself up with that. I multitask a lot of times, you guys, throughout the day. That is a big thing for me, because when I've got that time that I'm working on something for the boys, or I'm at the boys' school, or I'm doing something, for them with their horses or whatever's going on, that's my time. And then after that, boom, I'm gonna work. I'm gonna get that stuff done. I have that 5 minutes in between when I'm saddling a horse possibly, and I'm over here. Okay, so I'm gonna boom, 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 help this person. And that's what works for me. That's what gets my work done. When I've got those people who are reaching out to me, or I'm reaching out to them, I've kind of got to fit it in to our life, because even though, like I've told you guys, I stay home, I am super, super busy throughout the day. So for us, we had to cut out a lot of those things, on being so organized on getting the house clean and having that Saturday cleaning day and different things like that, because it was more beneficial. We learned very quickly for mom to go work her Plexus business, and for dad and the boys to go, do stuff and give mom that time. And when I get done with my time working my Plexus business, I'm filled up. I'm excited. That's just what motivates me, you guys, is to work with you guys and to sign new people. And so it fuels me up. And then boom, then I have my time with the husband and the boys, and I am just the happiest person. And like I said, this is just my life. So you gotta be creative with finding that time and what works in your lifestyle, because so many, you have kids in sports, just different things going on. A lot of you have full-time jobs too, and that's a huge, huge, huge thing. So that's why I say the working smarter, not harder comes into play. But you can work Plexus in those slots. There are so many things. The other day I was talking to an ambassador, and it's a lot of Netflix. It's a lot of reality TV, which that's the big thing nowadays. And I'm like, how much of that do you really need? How much of that is really filling you up? And really, she's like, no, I really don't need to watch any of it. So she has cut that out quite a bit. And it has been amazing, her feedback on, she's like, you know what, actually, I am in a much better mood because I'm working my business and not watching reality TV. And that's just an example. I'm not saying anything bad about reality TV. It's not my thing. But for her, it was awesome, because she was like, oh my gosh, Jeannie, I am building a business. I'm successful when I'm sitting down and not watching that reality TV. And I'm actually doing something for me and my family throughout the day. And so you've got to figure out what things you can cut out to have that time. If you are struggling with finding that time, there are things you can cut out. I promise you guys, there are things that you can cut out that you can work your Plexus business. But when you need to have that family time, have that family time, and just make sure that you are present, because that is one thing that I will tell you, you can't get, that time back. But there are times when if something, nothing is life and death. That's what I always say. When you're getting, maybe your prospect is messaging you back. And you guys, I was the worst. But it paid off, I will say that. But I was like, if somebody was messaging me that I messaged, or they just messaged me out of the blue about Plexus, I was like so excited I had to message them right away. Like my goal was within 5 minutes. I was like, okay, because I didn't want to lose them. I didn't want to lose their interest. I didn't want to, and I really feel that helped me. I don't know, but that's just me and my personality. And so I had to get with them. But there was sometimes that I know the husband and the kids were trying to talk to me, and I'm like, oh wait, hold on, I gotta, so you got to find that balance too, you guys. And during that first year, when you're a new ambassador, when you are even just saying, hey, I have a new goal, I want to get to gold, I want to get to senior gold, whatever it is, think about that and let them know. As long as they know and they're on board, there's not going to be that tension on you on worrying about if you're over there on your phone answering that prospect, because they're going to know what you're doing it for. Okay. And you guys, what is cool is reaping the rewards of that, whatever your goal is. And like for us, it was getting to jewel status. So we worked our tails off to get there and to help people and to do the best I could to just, try to help everybody with their goals. And in the end, I got to an Emerald Ambassador, which is pretty amazing to me. And I've been able to take the boys, this is our 3rd year, the husband and the boys going to Hawaii. So now they love Plexus because they've seen what mom has been able to do. And they know that I've done that for them. And so they are super excited to share those rewards with me. And a lot of times it takes sacrifice to get to the good stuff. My mom and dad were very hard workers. They didn't hand me anything. And I'm very thankful for that because, that's how I was taught, everything takes a lot of hard work to get to the good part. So that's what I watched my dad do my whole life and reward us for his hard work. So that's what I want to do, and I want to show my kids. So what I'm saying is network marketing, absolutely. It is the most amazing, amazing, amazing thing. But it's not easy either, you guys. It takes hard work and it takes dedication and commitment. And when you have your why, like we talk about, that is so big and so powerful to what you want to get to your goal, nothing can stop you. And so when you try to balance within your area of life, whatever you've got going on, when you can find that balance and try to, and if you are one of those who can schedule and say, okay, I'm off of work, by 5 o'clock. So, hey, if I get home and, whatever it is, if you wait till your kids are in bed, if you've got that hour after they're in bed to do your power hour, that's great. Set you an alarm on your phone and say, okay, I can do from 8 to 9. I can do my power hour. I can get up in the morning, 15, 20 minutes earlier. Set your alarm for that every day and make it a point to get up and have it. A habit forming is so great because you will automatically do that. Get up every morning and do your reach outs, do your follow-ups, do your, your power hour. And then later on throughout the day, you can do the other stuff of, checking on the team pages, because you always want to make sure you can keep up with that type of stuff and the announcements and things that are going on. Plug in, like you guys, I appreciate you guys so much, to the team calls. I was always on the team calls, plugging into everything, checking the team pages daily. But that stuff was done at different times throughout the day than when I sat down and focused on my income producing activities. So those income producing activities have got to come first. And there were days, you guys, I will tell you that it didn't always go like that because as my team was growing, and when your teams are growing, you're going to have days that are going to be different, and they need you. They need stuff that's going on sometimes. So I didn't always get to my IPAs, but that next day I would really try to make up for that. I didn't always, but I tried. So you've got to give it your best effort and make sure you have that time set to be able to do that. you know, for Scott and I, like Alec has always said, when you're blessed, be a blessing. And I just love that, because that's something that was also in our why, that we wanted to be able to help my parents. We wanted to be able to help his mom. We've been able to help other people. And that has been so rewarding. As little as you guys go, taking them to dinner and buying them dinner, you know, just different things like that. You know, we've been able to give a lot more, and it has been, it's been huge for us. And that's something that our boys see, and that was part of our why, that we explained to them that we want to be able to do this, because it's not just for how we are, not just for them, for other people as well. And so we're teaching them on that. So what I wanted to tell you guys was, if you can, to try to schedule in your time for your family. Some people do that. They will schedule for their family, and that's a lot of times what I do, because I do work Plexus throughout the day, but I have so much time freedom as well, because that was my goal, to get to dual status, so that I have a little bit more of that time freedom. But so I schedule my family time and say, okay, this is when my boys are home, or this is when they've got something going on, so I'm not going to answer the phone. I'm going to be 100% present when they get home from school, and I want to find out how school is, or I want to find out how, you know, what's going on. That's the reward I have now for working super, super hard in the beginning to get to where I'm at. So it's hard. I know it's hard, because a lot of times it's hard to change the daily routine and habits, and not have your house spick and span and clean, and not have, you know, maybe your husband doesn't have clean underwear the next day. You just never know, you know, you didn't get the laundry done, whatever it is, they're going to survive, I promise. No, don't do that. Really do the laundry. But if it's not folded and put away, you know, it's okay. Cut yourself some slack, okay? And John, I don't, you know, I don't know if you do your own laundry, you know, for your underwear, but, you know, so for you, we'll switch that a little bit. But you know what I mean. So whatever it is, you guys, don't be so hard on yourselves to keep everything else perfect, because if your family is on board with you on what your goals are, what the why is, you share that, then you can really have that balance to do both, and to be successful in both, and meet your requirements in both. Whatever it is that you want to strive for, it's okay to not be perfect in that first year or two of 3 or 4 that you're working your Plexus business. And if you are an ambassador that's been doing this for a while, and you're like, you know, I really have this goal I haven't met yet, start today with saying, okay, this is my first day, I'm signing up today. And think about it. What can you do? What can you do starting tomorrow to change things up on your schedule? And sit down and talk with your family and say, look, I have a new goal. I know I've been doing Plexus for XYZ, but I want to get us to this point, this rank, whatever it is. If it's whatever it is, if it's a rank, or if it's a dollar amount, or whatever that works for you and your family. Say, what can we do to help around here so that I have a little bit more time to work my Plexus business? So I want to challenge you guys to do that, and say, because this is what I want to do. And I'm just, it just from coming from me, I'm just speaking from experience, you guys, and telling you what's worked for me, that makes it so much easier for me to be able to really pour into my Plexus business, and not feel guilty for my family, because I know they're 100% supportive of me. And I've learned the hard way, because I have gotten into where I was like doing Plexus full time sometimes, and my husband had to say, okay, we need to back up just a tad bit. And I was glad for that reminder, because he's kept me grounded a little bit to where I was like just full on. And so, and this has just been in this last year, and I just get so motivated to, you know, to help and do things. And so anyways, but I want to leave you guys with that. And then I wanted to open it up to see if you guys, any of you guys want to share what's worked for you guys, or what you've learned as far as the balance in life, and maybe some trials, some errors that you guys have went through, you know, suggestions you guys have, or questions, or just things like that. So I'd love to have any of you guys unmute and share, please, with anybody else. Okay, Libby, unmute, because I know you will. for me.
I'm like watching people's microphones.
Somebody get mute.
So I'm not going to sit here and say like that I'm the busiest one out of all of us, because we all have our own lives, you know, that keep us super, super busy. And I have had many, many struggles where I try to, I'm a perfectionist, and if it is not done my way, then it's probably not done correctly. And that's something that I'm working on. And I have been working on that, because I know that that's not proper way of thinking. There is this wonderful, again, just personal development has been huge for me in growing who I am as a person. And it not only helps me become a better leader, but damn it, why does Plexus do this to me? I'm a better mom, and I'm a better wife, and that's most important, you know. So I notice that when I don't do my personal development in the morning, and that's including like working out, that's personal development, listening to my podcast that I listen to, or YouTube. Recently I have fallen in love with Bob Heilig, and I know Dusty's posted a lot of his stuff a long time ago, but he has a podcast called Your Virtual Upline. And I paid $1 to be a part of his training for 30 days. And I really just sucked up as much as I could for that $1. And a lot of his stuff that he charges people for, $57 a month, is on his podcast for free. So, but there is just, you know, something about being organized that's been really hard for me, because I was that same, like when Jeannie would say, you know, somebody messages you, you want to get back to them right away because it's exciting and they're interested. And I remember many times telling my husband, if this Plexus thing is going to always be at like 10 o'clock at night, no, not having it. Like, I am not going to be up messaging people this late at night all the time. And Jeannie would come to me and say, okay, it's not like they're not going to be interested in the morning. And I'm like, I know, but they're messaging me right now. What if they go like Google search it and then they like buy it from somebody else? Then they weren't meant to be on my team, right? They weren't meant to be my customer. And so still to this day, I do struggle with time management. I think that that's just something that takes a long time to perfect, if it can even be perfected. But I'm really, really particular about Sundays being my family day. I do work Plexus a lot during the week, and then Fridays when I have off, like it's nuts lately. Like from the time I wake up, get home from the gym, shower, ready, whatever, to Jeremy walking in the door, I'm like, I haven't even been home. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, Plexus. It's crazy. But just between like visiting with people at their offices, with their employees, and just really putting myself out there, delivering samples, or, you know, I just have been really, really busy with Plexus. And so I make Sunday my day where even my team knows, like, that is, you know, my day for my family. And probably what keeps me going in the moments that I don't want to do this are, I'm pretty lucky. I have some pretty good cheerleaders in my family. And when I am able to share my successes with them, like, they all get excited, you know? And so that makes it to where I just want to be able to share more successes. And so I continue to push forward to have more fun stories to tell them. Yeah. Because I do have my stories when I look at Jer and say, I don't know. Right now I'm feeling really, really stressed out. And then he just always is able to dig into my why. And I just, again, personal development and your why. And you'll make it work no matter what. However, I feel like I'm rambling now, but
no, it's a hard subject, Libby, and you're exactly right. And action, kind of like you said, it's crazy because when you're doing action, though, that's what motivates you. And when you have them involved and you get to tell them, oh my gosh, I got a new customer, or look at this message, look what this person just said about being on the triplex, for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And you did that, and that you get to share that with them, and they're just like, wow. I mean, Scott's always like, that is so cool, or like with the team, look at what the team is doing, and look what this person is able to do this month because of this, and because I shared with so and so this person, it's amazing. So
I think that you just really nailed it with action.
Yep.
Because I feel like it's so easy to get out of that.
Yes.
But at the same time, how much belief it builds in you when you just get that one person out of maybe 20 that say yes, they'll come to your PJ party, right? Okay. And so on the days when I've had a rough day, you guys know that I'm crazy about my book, and I just have this is my recent list. I made one of just 500 people that I hadn't reached out to. It is unreal on your Facebook list if you go through that individually and just spend some time making your list. It's like gratifying to me at the end of my day when I know that I have done my 10 reach outs. I really try to get 30 in for the week. And so just 3 days a week is what I'm trying to do on 10 new reach outs. And then I just highlight them. And then it's like in my brain, I'm like, okay, I did it. I stayed firm in what I wanted to do with this. And I did what I needed to do. And now I'll just push forward for the rest of my night on what I need to do with following up with teammates and,
exactly.
Yeah.
It does. It fuels you, Libby. It's because that action when you're doing something just like you said, when you're following up with that customer or that team member, and then you get to talking with them, it becomes, I used to tell people Plexus is addicting to me because it's what fuels me when you're talking to them, and it's not always roses. Maybe it's not, maybe you got to troubleshoot with them. But the next person probably that you talk to, it's going to be a super positive wow. And then, oh my gosh, I'm like, okay, who else can I reach out to? Because it just gets you so excited and builds your belief. And so you just continue to do that action and keep building and getting more of those people that you get to help and that you're responsible for. And so when you're sharing that and when that fuels you up, I'm telling you, it just shows. It shows it. Like Libby said, even that makes you a better, mom and wife and coworker and whatever, because you're happy. You've got things rocking and rolling within your business and you're successful. You're feeling good about things, but you have to do the work. You've got to find that time. Now, it doesn't mean you've got to, work at 4 and 5 hours a day, but you have to work it every single day. And that was something that I did was I never missed a day. I don't miss a day of working my Plexus business unless, like Libby said, you have those family days. You have those days that, like the rodeo for this weekend, I was still working because my ambassadors are actually at the rodeo with me too, and new prospects. But so we did a lot of some training and stuff at the rodeos, but that's kind of one-on-one. I'm not on my cell phone. I'm not, doing all of that. And I'm with the family, it fits into your life. It really becomes a part of your life that is so easy to just kind of get in that habit forming of every day. It's just my addiction. And I'm really good to admit that I am addicted to Plexus. I'm okay with that because I love it. So anybody else have anything they want to share before I let you guys go or comment on? Okay, a lot of quiet people tonight. It's not like you guys. All right, guys. Well, thank you, Libby, for sharing that tonight too. I hope that helped you guys a little bit, if anything, to just give you some motivation and sit down with your families and keep going. You guys don't give up, put it into action, and you will succeed. I promise. John, did you have something to add?
Can I ask you about do you have any knowledge of what they're doing?
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that my weight loss, it has kind of had plateaued for about 8-10 months or more. I was just I just couldn't lose weight. I kept losing some inches, but I didn't lose any weight. And all of a sudden, about 3 weeks ago, I started dropping pounds. Like I've lost about 8 pounds in the last 3 weeks.
Whoa.
It's quite something. And that's what I'd like to say is consistency. You just keep taking it, and eventually you will see a result.
Love that, John. I'm so glad you shared that. That's so awesome, John. Thank you for that. Way cool. Love it. And Connie, you had something you were asking.
Yeah, I got my order today, and there was a list of products they're going to give us in Canada, but there's like half of the list is missing.
Okay.
So is that in progress, or is that they're not? Are we going to have to stock up ahead, or what?
I
Are we
read,
going to be able to order from the States?
I'll look into that, Connie, because I saw something posted about that. So let me look for you and John and find out what's going on that, and then I'll let you guys know.
Because if I lose my nerve, my sciatica is back.
No, it should be everything, because with the new launch, which did you guys get signed up for the launch, the Canada launch too?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good deal. Let me find out on that, and I'll get back to both of you guys so that you guys know.
But we're missing the ProBio 5, the Nerve, the Accelerator, the Block, the Boost, and the Ease Cream.
Okay.
All of those not on the list.
Yeah, I think that was just an error, because I don't think any of those are going away. So, but I will find out.
But if they're not approved in Canada, they won't let them in. That's the thing.
Exactly. Yeah. But I'll look into it, Connie, and let you know for sure. So
And as long as you can still order them from the States, we're okay. But if we can't.
Exactly. It's hard because it's been, as you both know, you've been with me for a long time. The whole Canada thing is really tricky. So
I'll smuggle it into you if for some reason they've taken it.
Thank you.
I'll get it to you, Connie. Yeah. We'll camouflage it and get it to you. Yes. No, I think, but I want to make sure, because I don't want to answer that until I absolutely read through that post.
No, I just thought maybe you had it in with the head guys, because literally I'm going to put a big order in ahead if I can't get it.
I don't believe you. Lifetime supply Connie's going to have.
Well, they make a sign of things saying we can't, or check off a thing saying we're not getting more than 5 weeks worth of stuff.
I know. And bless your heart, you guys got to wait so long to get your products anyways. It takes forever. I know we've had issues with that. So you guys are so patient. I love it, but things are changing for you guys. So I'm really, really, really excited for what's coming to Canada. So it's going to be good. All right. Well, thank you guys all for joining tonight. I appreciate it. And you guys all have a good evening. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeannie.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.